Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Spawner's in the back.
I'm carrying
Look out!
Ward.
Got that one.
Okay.
Silverfish!
Oh, goodness.
Oh god. Wait. Hold on, Uniburst. Hold on.
Oh, my game crashed.
Uh-oh. Okay, I killed the
Universe.
silverfish.
Am I alive?
I think so.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I could take damage in that state or not.
Oh, more silverfish. I don't know where they're spawning from. You got him,
I swear.
Uniburst. Uniburst? No, not me!
Hey, Uniburst, stop it. Uniburst, spare my friends, Uniburst.
Oh, wow. They do quite some damage! Let me just...
How much danger are you guys in?
Oh, you know.
There's a hole forming in the middle of your arena.
Wait, what?
Oh, that's where
It's
they're coming
silverfish
from.
stuff.
Oh my god.
Oh, hi.
Oh my god, I gotta eat. I gotta eat.
I'll try to distract him.
Who's fighting me? These silverfish are like ruining my day.
Watch out. Oh, more. No!
Uniburst, this is not the time, Uniburst! Oh god, you hurt so bad, Uniburst!
Oh god. It's my minions that hurt so much more.
Oh god, he just did 6 hearts of damage to me.
Hey, how many potions do you have?
Do you need some?
Yeah, I desperately need some. Oh my
Your
god.
helmet broke. Do you have anything you can use as a spare?
No.
Oh,
we all-
Uniburst! Uniburst!
No!
Come on, you. Hey, Shade, if you could block off the arena, that'd be cool.
I can!
I got him.
The silverfish. You got him?
What?
Hey, you know my head?
You know there's
That
lava?
counts.
It fell right into the lava.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, okay, so, I beat him, whatever. Let's just leave. Let's just dupe in the head, I beat him. I don't care.
How do we leave? Just fall?
I'm guessing that there's water at the bottom of this. Hey, Shade, you jump first.
Okay. Whee! Whee! That was lovely. I don't see you.
Oh,
So that was something. Oh
yeah,
wait. Oh wait. What about his? Well, I guess it doesn't matter about his stuff because we've done everything, right?
yeah, and also
Oh,
most
I
of
don't have
them,
permission to use this command.
Hey, Shade,
Up.
can you spawn in?
Give
Can you
stuff.
spawn in a
There
head
you go.
so we can name it Universe?
Okay, I've got a head.
Okay, yay, we beat him! Woo! You have to give it to me back. Woo!
I will when you get back.
I was trying to get in there to help you out, Uniburst, but then the silverfish kept knocking me away from it. Those
I didn't think
silverfish
of
are strong.
the head falling down.
Oh, fell into the lava in like the room that you teleport into.
I
Yeah.
never had an issue of Uniburst running back there.
Oh
Don't die,
god.
Uniburst. Even though we just killed you.
Oh god, I'm dying too. Oh no.
My
No.
armor, that teared through my armor, man. This is diamond
Like-
armor.
The real Universe ran into like the starting room
Yeah,
because
so
you
I
needed
can
more
recover.
potions. And I was going back to give you more potions, and then Universe chased me back into that room, and then we had to kill him there.
Yeah, I was trying to get in there to help you guys out and block it off so silverfish wouldn't come in there, but then the silverfish wouldn't let me do that. They wanted to live or something.
The way I killed myself was kind of pathetic. Yeah, I sort of stood in the corner and just sort of took it. I was like, okay, I feel like I deserve that after murdering Yumius. I get where you're coming from.
I have some knockback on my sword, I noticed, so that was really good to get him away from me.
But can you guys believe it? We beat Fallen Civilizations 2. Woo!
Yeah. Woo!
Woo! Yeah! Woo!
Yeah.
Oh,
Woo!
so, how did fighting him by yourself go, Yumius?
Oh, that was tough.
How many
What?
attempts was it?
I got it
Oh.
on my first try, but like I almost died. I was like
Mm.
almost dead constantly, actually,
We should have got regeneration 2 potions.
because there
I only
was
have
the
one.
issue of those silverfish, which just destroy you. Like they hurt
Mhm.
so bad.
Yeah.
worst
And then
than I am.
Uniburst hurts so bad, and then you have to take out the creeper spawners so the entire arena doesn't explode.
I love the fact that I'm holding ward and that's my weapon.
Yeah.
You take my words to heart, Yumius.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
What were you holding?
Ward, the
disc.
disc.
That's why I asked you what your favorite disc was.
Oh.
Notice it's called the Sound of Destruction.
Oh, I didn't grab.
Oh,
Because
it's called the
everything's
Sound of
fallen.
Destruction. It has sharpness 15.
Okay, spawn in ward.
Wow.
Act like we got it so then we can play it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't have it in my
Lord.
inventory either.
Let me.
I had a full inventory and that gave it ample time to drop into the lava.
Yeah, say. But, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of that actually.
Well, maybe
I
that's
didn't
something.
anticipate the fight going back to that area.
Maybe that's just something that you can change before you. And then you can send me that copy so I can link it in the description. My task, you know. Okay. Hey, Yumius. I'm back. That's the trade.
Hey, Universe. We have to introduce you to Henry first.
Oh yeah,
okay, where's
Henry.
Henry?
Henry is over here.
There he is. Okay.
Henry.
Nice head, Yumius. Thanks for the poison, Yumius.
You're welcome.
Our cozy home.
Gentlemen, I'm here to announce that Fallen Civilizations 2 is done. And this is my head. Here's my proof. I put it on. As you can see, it looks just like me.
It's few but fatter.
Yeah, and so there it
Yay.
is.
Dot done.
Got done.
We have done it.
He deserves it. He deserves it for all the pain.
The brutality.
Get back here. No fire
Guys, we got
resist.
that
That's
button
cheating.
to press.
Oh yeah. I guess we can't kill each other yet. Let's go press that button.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot.
Forgot there's an ending to this.
Right, I get to read more.
Whee!
Yeah.
Whee!
Yes.
I gotta bring food with me into the reading chamber, though.
I should probably like just dump a lot of my items into. Oh, I never wore the unit breaker resistor. I'm gonna wear that. Okay, I'm just throwing a lot of things into because we won't need anything anymore. So
Mine.
wait, did
Hi.
you just jump in after it?
No, he's getting my stuff.
Okay, well let's push the
Also-
button. Okay, yep, we're pushing the button now.
Push the button! Push the button! Push the button! Push it!
I
can't push
did.
the button! Okay.
Are you
Okay, well,
here?
I guess I'll.
Guess I don't have to log because you guys logged.
Okay,
Hi, Evius.
rule 13. If you haven't completed the monument yet, leave if you.
Oh, but
Leave.
Okay, boys. Welcome. This is the area showcase chamber. Here you can read all about the different areas you've explored throughout the map. Each area has a glass case with a small visual representation of the area and a chest in front of it containing a book of some things I have to say about each area. The chest will also contain the quest item that was in the area if it had. As such, anything you find in this area may not leave this area. Enjoy, it doesn't matter. Sacred monument areas, traders monument area. Okay, let's look at this last.
Ooh.
Oh, this is last refuge.
Oh my god!
Don't
What?
worry.
God, Shade! At
What?
least replace the blocks you're breaking.
No.
Oh boy, these are like 4 pages. Okay.
This is gonna be quite the reading.
Last refuge. This is the first area in the map. There are 2 parts to it, the light side and the dark side. The light side is where the players teleport to from the spawn area. This section has the objective book and some basic starting materials. The start has a heavy focus on the scarcity of food resources, as the most renewable food available here is apples from growing oak trees. The dark side is where most of the fighting takes place and where the wolves located. The way to the dark side of the area is guarded by dangerous baby pigmen, but spawners can be taken by After spawners, those are creepers and aspects. This includes some of the game stars, which are trying to go map.
Gate.
Gate. This area is a large border wall that was taken over by monsters. The interior is guarded by a collection of enemies that include blazes, creepers, zombies, cave spiders, and skeleton soldiers. It was actually very challenging to design this area as the size of the rooms inside the wall were limited by the thickness of the wall. This also restricted me to designing this dungeon more like a 2D area rather than a 3D area. The first intersection lies on the other side of the wall. He's taking all the wool. Okay. Hold on, I want to. Do you care if I break this glass? Is there anything in that chest? I'm curious.
You can go in.
Yeah, let's see if there's anything in that chest. I feel like it's gonna like murder me, but like it's okay.
Shade, where are you going? Shade!
I gotta get wool.
Shade!
I gotta make sure you guys don't steal the
There's
wool
nothing.
from me.
There's in fact nothing in the coordinates. I'm gonna fix it for the sake of immersion. Oh, okay, there we go. And then we got okay, and then
No
we
mobs?
walk out. Oh yeah, flood cavern. Oh, so this is 7 pages. Flooded caverns. This area is a cave that is almost entirely underwater. The main enemy through most of the area are skeletons riding on squids. They are a close relative of the flying skeleton. I originally tried this with skeletons riding on silverfish so that they would actively pursue the player and also move faster than the squids, but the silverfish seemed to float up to the surface too quickly. You used the wrong 2. The swimming motion.
Listen, man, there's a lot of writing. You make mistakes.
The swimming motion with squids also just looks more believable to me. Making these enemies, I learned that squids in the game are actually the dumbest mobs ever. I had to give water breathing to the squid to prevent it from drowning even though it's already an aquatic creature. The squids don't survive out the water either, so it's truly a well-designed creature overall. The wolf rests in an obsidian fortress at the very bottom of the cave. This fortress has a very different design to it than other dungeons I've made. It keeps swimming skeletons and witches out of direct contact with the player by keeping them in a glass enclosure to attack the player from. There are creepers though that are not kept from contact from the player. They are carried from the sides of the far end of the room by water currents so that they can travel down the hall toward the player. This is where the rule that you can't disable fog comes into play. It wouldn't be nearly as startling if you could see these creepers coming for you. The upper floor is just an underwater room with 2 swimming skeleton spawners in the wall. Ultimately, the bottom room is a tactical challenge and the top room is a combat challenge. Jungle Thorn Grove. This area is on an island in the middle of a small lake. It is a hybrid of a jungle and desert area. The terrain is a complex mixture of several different materials consisting of mostly dirt, then some clay, sand, and soul sand. The wool of this area is not contained within some kind of guarded section like most areas. Rather, the wool is buried underground in some random spot, and it completely unguarded. The coordinates for where to find it are in chests with bricks on top of them. An example of one of these chests can be seen in the case. There are 2 different custom enemies in this area. One is a defensive type and the other is an offensive type. Where did you get that glass from?
Nowhere.
Are an offensive type. The defensive enemy is a jungle-based enemy that can regenerate itself. The offensive enemy is a desert-based skeleton that has a Thorns enchantment. The area might also be hiding a dark secret. I guess that's the hint for if you miss Francis Castle. Because I'm like, you should probably put another rule sign there that says like, don't go into the Cursed Monument 1 if you haven't completed it.
Those are optional areas, though.
That's true. Pyrofrost Tomb Cavern. A snow cave. Should I wait? I guess I'll wait. We have a long hallway to go.
Yeah, you've got a lot of reading to do, Uniburst. And probably quite a few errors because I wrote all of these in one day, and that was all I did the whole day.
Yeah, I think you were telling me about when you were doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably do Pyrofrost Shroom Cavern after this one anyway.
And the left side is the first area, the right side is the next area.
So was this nice? Was this the last thing you built, or was this Oh,
This was the last thing.
Is that the only one with enemies inside of it?
No, I just went in and spawned him because I have blaze eggs.
Oh, okay. I thought that like you just got in range.
Hello. Look how happy he is.
Mm-hmm. He seems perfectly content with being in there.
Sorry about that. It wasn't for
You're
me.
good. Okay.
Do not concern yourself with this blaze.
It's for immersion. This area has a bit of a gimmick that I've never tried before. There is a custom enemy here that is a fire skeleton riding a magma cube that emerges from the lava river that cuts through the middle of the snow valley. But there is not really a good way at this point to slow them down or stop them from spawning, meaning that they will just continue to build up and cause problems for the player. I also had to put careful thought into all of the loot that came before this area. I did not give any nether warts until the end of this area to prevent the player from brewing fire resistance potions. The only way to acquire resistance potions up to this point is to get a drop from a witch, which is
You know what I mean.
which is challenging as the only witches up to this point are in water. Because it is effectively impossible to completely stop these magma jockeys, the best strategy is to not stop moving. This area forks in cave with one way leading to the next area and the other leading to the wool. The wool is guarded by 9 blaze spawners and a fun little trap. Fun. The snow surrounding the fleecy box is over nothing, so a block update causes it to disappear. There was a small hint though before this trap. Before the wool is a chest labeled Feather Falling that contains some Feather Falling books and some Feather Falling boots. A veteran CTM player would also know to be wary of snow tricks like this. I also learned something stupid about this game while making this area. I originally had this area exposed to sky, but my fire skeletons refused to attack me during the day. And when I killed their magma cubes, they ran away from me. Apparently skeletons that are on fire and exposed to sky run away even if they aren't taking any damage from the fire. So I had to cover up the sky with a few layers of ice. Pyrofrost Tomb Cavern. A snow cave with mushrooms growing in it. It follows the theme of the previous area by having lava pools around in the snow. This area also features a defensive and offensive custom enemy. The brown mushroom enemies are mushroom defenders, and they have high health, low attack, and move slowly. The red mushroom enemies are mushroom berserkers, and they have low health, high attack, and move a bit quicker than mushroom defenders. This area is where the player first gains access to iron. This is also the first area with a boss fight. In the first map, boss fights were just ordinary spawners encased in bedrock. But now I use a redstone mechanism in conjunction with spawners. Essentially, a silverfish spawns in a small chamber and lands on a pressure plate. This sends a constant redstone signal, which turns on redstone lamps to prevent more silverfish from also spawning. It also sends a signal through a comparator to turn off lights around the boss spawner so that it can spawn using its custom positional data. In order to prevent more from spawning, the redstone circuit then goes through a series of repeaters into the side of the comparator to turn the lights back on around the boss spawner. In 100 trials, it worked every single time, whereas the method I used for the final boss of the first map only worked about 50% of the time. 100 trials?
Yeah.
He wanted to be thorough.
My God, Shade.
We
You
need
don't
it.
need this anymore.
We need
The
lights.
map is done.
Oh,
Leave.
here you go, Shade. You missed one. Gravesite Manor. This is the beginning of Intersection 2, which had a spooky theme, and each area has several silent hopper clocks throughout them to make sure it stays nighttime. There is a silverfish cobble path leading up to the mansion through a series of fenced enclosures with graves dug along either side of the path. For spawners, I can set a custom position for mobs to spawn at, but I can also set a velocity for enemies to spawn with. I use this to have custom skeletons jump out of the graves as the player approaches them. Sometimes they hit the walls and lose their momentum, so they fall back down into the grave. This would have been easy to fix, but I found it somewhat amusing, so I just kept it in. The mansion itself is quite dangerous. It has a fire ghost enemy that is a zombie at its base, so I imagine them breaking doors down on hard mode. This area would be a nightmare on hard difficulty. It also has invisible skeletons and invisible charged creepers. The attic has some pretty good enchanted loot, but is infested with fire cave spiders. The mansion also has a couple potion spawners that would spawn splash potions of poison. Say that 5 times fast. Spawn splash potions of poison. The wool is in a large room under the house that is reached through the art room. That room somewhat resembles a style of dungeon building that was used in the earliest CTM maps, which were from the Super Hostile series. If only the water monster was in there. Like,
Shade is mining the redstone for some reason.
It's redstone. We need it.
We're done!
We gotta use it for contraptions.
Phantasmal swamp / depths. This area is a long swamp area with poisonous water and invisible skeletons. The final pool before going into the cave has more swimming skeletons. I use soul sand for the terrain in the swamp because I see it as a block that looks most like mud. In the cave, there is a dangerous gimmick. It was a difficult gimmick to implement, as I had to be sure that I explained how it worked clearly in order to avoid players getting themselves killed by not understanding the mechanics. My intention with the cave was to make it seem like a mostly normal Minecraft cave with a few spawners thrown in. But there's a dangerous creature here. There's a water monster that spawns with wither and will eventually die only for another to spawn right away. This enemy has an extraordinarily high level of thorns, as I can hear, and it has a high enough level of strength to one-shot a player. I was inspired to make an area like this by the submerged castle area in Pikmin 2 for Nintendo GameCube. The idea is essentially to have an enemy that you cannot fight, you can only avoid it and proceed tactically. The wool area of this cave also makes use of the void fog for low visibility after the player has already seen this enemy. I wanted the player to have some experience dealing with the enemy under normal conditions before having to deal with it in very low visibility. The void fog is to add another layer of tension and unease there. Didn't know that was inspired by Pikmin 2. Learned something.
This is the Chamber of Knowledge.
Abysmal Boardwalk. This area is the intended final area of Intersection 2, or the spooky intersection. The area is high up on stalagmites and bridges between them in a large obsidian cave. There are deposits of redstone blocks scattered around the cave, not to just give player redstone, but just because I like the way obsidian looks with redstone blocks. Many areas that are high above the ground like this have some sort of death plane if the player were to fall down. Oftentimes areas use lava or even void. This area uses something a little different. Instead of lava or void, there are a couple hundred potion spawners littered across the bottom of this area that give an assortment of nasty status effects. Anything that gets caught in it will eventually die if it doesn't get out in time. The start of this area comes with a warning sign about bridging around through the area or using ender pearls to get past things. These options are discouraged by having arrays of skeleton spawners floating off the bridges and pillars, and there are invisible blocks to stop ender pearls between the islands. This invisible block is block 36, which is the block pistons use to store their extension data. The area with the wool is a large stalactite, you misspelled stalactite, hanging over the void with gas spawners on it. This wool is based on an area called Eternal Tears from a super hostile CTM map called Nightmare Realm. This area leads to further areas in the map, and it may also house a dark secret.
Dark secret.
Sacred Nexus. This is the light area of the Nexus areas. It is a giant floating obsidian crystal encased in glass surrounded by glass rings. This area has my attempt at a light elemental enemy. I keep them spawning in light by making they spawn actually an experienced orb spawner.
Shut up.
It spawns an experienced orb riding the actual custom enemy. This does result in them sometimes spawning inside walls, but oh well. I have them lit on fire, so then they will be clearly illuminated from a distance. I believe there are some in future versions called glowing, so I might be able to use that in the future instead of fire for light enemies. Because I had to use fire, the thing about glowing, yeah, you could see it through walls, so I feel like
That's fine with me.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I might be able to use that in future instead of fire for light enemies. Because I had to use fire, I ran into a problem here that was similar to the problem in Molten Taiga. This area is supposed to be open to the sky, but enemies just kept running away. The interior of this area is full of libraries, because it would make sense to me that an area like this would be full of knowledge. The wall is on top of the area and is defended by a large number of these enemies. At the top glass ring, there's also a bridge that connects to the other Nexus area, the Nexus Storm. Why isn't this nether? Nexus Storm. This area is the dark area of the two Nexus areas. This one in the nether. This one is in the nether. This area is also where the player first gains access to gold ore. Gold and nether quartz ore is on a series of islands in a vast lava sea below the main area, and there are deposits of iron in the lava. The actual main area is shaped like the Sacred Nexus, but inside are rooms for enchanting and alchemy instead of libraries. The custom enemies here are more powerful than the ones from Sacred Nexus, and more of them can spawn at once from the spawners. However, they are affected by light to compensate. One of these custom enemies is a higher level of the Thornbow enemy from Jungle Thorn Grove. Due to natural pigment spawns in the rooms here getting ridiculously excessive, I had to make several honeypots inside of the structure for pigment spawn. This area also featured the second boss fight in the main quest. This boss actually has very little health for a boss. It only has 25 hearts, but it has regeneration 3, so it regains all of its health very quickly. As such, this fight can be very tough with the wrong approach, but with a very good strategy, it can be over in seconds. I can't test on my own, but I also imagine this fight is unfortunately going to be a complete pushover on multiplayer, since he will be unable to knock off all players away from him. He will be unable to knock all players away from him all the time. I'm curious to know if my hypothesis is correct. I'd also like to explain why the nether portal is to proceed further into the map is down a lot of stairs from the top of the ring. Originally it was just a straight bridge, but every time I went back to the portal from the overworld, it spawned a new portal way below the exit portal, and I was unsure why. It turns out it can't put the player in the nether with portals that are too high, since the nether normally extends up to half the build limit. To fix this, I just had to put the exit portal a lot lower.
Shit, I don't have it anymore. I don't have it anymore.
I
Threw it on the ground.
What are you doing?
Hi. Where is it?
I don't have the brown wool anymore, Shade.
Oh. Found it.
He wants the brown wool.
I got it.
Oh,
Hey,
wait,
you're skipping something here.
It is written, Aeronautics Center. First of all, please refrain from mocking the disgusting attempt at making a mimic of the rocket ship from Aeronautics Center. This is the first major area without a wall or anything that goes on the monument in any way. The area serves to bring the player to the end dimension, which I am using for outer space. Everything that happens from this point in the map is 100% scientifically accurate. Definitely. Especially that part where you're in the vacuum of space without a suit. Anyways, this area doesn't have a required item for completing the map, but it does have something tremendously useful. This area has the shining zombie spawners, which drop stacked potions, which are among the most useful things in the map. Oh, crap, now I want to pillar up to see what I should be mocking.
It looks terrible. What do you mean you need to see?
It's a good scaled down version. Like, I don't see anything
It's
wrong
so
with this.
bad. It looks terrible.
I don't see anything wrong with it. It's scaled down. Like,
It's gross.
what
Oh,
is-
the ship.
oh,
I'm missing a wall.
right. Callum Voyager. This area goes through a series of semicircular tunnels or void. In some places, the walls are made of quartz, and in other places, the walls are made of glass. This area has a lot of dangerous enemies spawning on top of the area, with arachnid bombers inside the area. The main goal here is to avoid creeper explosions so that the walls and ceilings remain undamaged to keep the enemies out. Some enemies can also spawn in the floor, so if the player digs down into the floor, or if enough of the floor is blown up, there are more instances of Block 36 as well to prevent the Ender Pearl cheese. The big cheese.
I like this empty room.
Yeah.
Alien Village. This area was originally just going to be an ordinary village structures on large endstone asteroids, but I was so bored by the idea that I decided to do something weird. Instead, I made these sorts of hoop structures that the houses hang down from. This area is the first area of the third and final intersection. Each area of intersection 3 has diamonds that the player can mine, but none before intersection 3. This means at least one of these areas must be dealt with in part without having a consistent diamond supply. I recognize that the biggest threat in this area was the void, and I know falling in the void without at least a chance to save yourself is frustrating. Because of this, I removed the punch enchantment from the bows of the enemies in this area, and included a chest of ender pearls at the start. I considered using more invisible blocks to stop ender pearl shots here, but decided against it as I thought it could actually make this area more interesting to have that free roaming ability. I also figured that if a player had attempted to use ender pearls in the past areas that forcibly prevent ender pearl shots, they would definitely not trust me enough to use ender pearls here. As such, I have included snowballs in the chest so that the player can throw snowballs to aim ender pearl shots without worrying about hitting anything. Oh, I thought this was just a wall for a second. I thought you were breaking the sun one.
Yeah, don't break into the sun.
Extreme heat. This is a large-scale open area with lots of exploration. The area is actually a 1,000 by 1,000 by 1,000 sphere of lava, except the height of it can't exist for obvious reasons. It originally did not have a smaller sphere of bedrock beneath the lava, but it was easy to see everything under the lava without the bedrock, which would have defeated the purpose of the area. In this area, there are 5 levers to flip in order to activate 4 beacons that reveal the location of the wolf dungeon beneath the lava. This lava enemy of this area also used to operate under the same mechanics as the water enemy from Phantasmal Swamp, but I decided against that as I felt this made Phantasmal Swamp not feel unique or special in any way. I did keep the lava enemies in the area in the form of an ordinary custom mob that appears to indicate which structures have levers to press. The fireball turrets from the very first area of the map also return in this area. My favorite part of this area, though, are the parts of the lava that emit fire charges, flaming arrows, or TNT blasts. The fire charges and arrow shooters both are redstone-based devices, while the TNT blasts are spawner-based and actually have some interesting to them. These things would destroy themselves usually within a minute, so I had to do something to prevent that. To prevent that, I put water under the spawners and separated the water from the water from the lava with signs. As a result, this area actually contains 1,372 water blocks. The wool dungeon in this area is probably my favorite structure I made in this map, with the exception of the secret areas. It also has quite a fun surprise in it. I imagine players would be surprised to see a giant at the end of the chamber. The unfortunate thing about giants is that their movement speed does not scale with their size. With their default movement speed, they actually travel so slowly that their own hitbox prevents them from getting close enough to a player to hit them at all. To fix this, I had to put ludicrous levels of speed on them just so then they would look like they would move at a reasonable speed and be able to hit the player. They have speed level 30, but it certainly doesn't look like it. How far are we? Okay. Asteroid Blast. This area is a large bedrock cavern within an asteroid. I made it bedrock to keep the area from getting destroyed. This area is loaded with destructive enemies, including the Wither being used as a normal enemy. Another enemy here is the Heavy Charge Creeper. They have a slow fuse timer, but their blasting power... Is it actually slower than normal Creeper?
Yes.
They have a slow fuse timer, but their blasting power is immense. Just standing around the area in creative, I saw a Wither get into a fight with one of these creepers, and the creeper blew up next to the Wither and instantly killed it. A somewhat silly enemy that appears here is the Bat Bomb, which is a piece of prime TNT riding a bat. All the spawners in this area appear under a piece of obsidian so that the spawner can be broken by the player, but not by stray explosions. Wither spawners appear under the center piece of obsidian in an arrangement of 5 pieces. There's also a custom zombie here that has a piece of bedrock on its head. This is meant to symbolize its strength, since bedrock is an unbreakable material in Minecraft. This enemy has 35 hearts, high defense, and high offense. However, it moves rather slowly. The area with the wool is a series of winding bedrock paths leading to a larger bedrock stone at the top of the large cavern. The wool in this large bedrock stone... The wool is in this large bedrock stone. This room is also where the diamonds of this area are kept. It was interesting to design the shortcut back through this area with a teleporter, since I couldn't just have the player tunnel through a wall. So instead I placed an indentation in the wall where water will drip down at the press of a button. There might also be some sinister hidden in this area.
There might be.
What's that spawner?
That is a boat.
Oh.
Boat.
Oh, 14 pages.
Alright.
Just go in. You me as
I need a
first.
chair for this one.
Malicious Industries. This is the final dungeon of Fallen Civilizations 2. Because I want this area to seem like some sort of factory, every door is a fancy 3x3 piston door. I'm not particularly amazing at redstone though, so I know any 3x3 piston door that I can make would either be huge or slow. The design I found was from someone called Mambo Jumbo, and that is what I use for every 3x3 piston door. I still have absolutely no idea how it works. Outside all the doors and in various other places in the dungeon, I have compasses and clocks and item frames. I think their chaotic behavior in the end makes them seem like gauges going crazy, watches going crazy. This area is somewhat similar to the final dungeon in the first map, in that the way to progress is right at the start, but it is unusable until something else is done in the dungeon. In this case, there are 6 buttons that need to be pressed. I decided to make this area into somewhat of a circle. I designed it such that there is a left path and a right path that eventually go around to the same place. The left path is more combat oriented, as the rooms are pretty straightforward to first, but there are plenty of enemies to fight. The right path is more tactically oriented, as there are less dangers from enemies, but more obstacles to move past. This entire area was difficult to design, as I had to come up with a unique design for each room that could at least give off the illusion that it has a purpose. The only room that actually does not have anything of even marginal use is the first room on the left, which has a working cobblestone generator harvested with TNT. It is massively inefficient, and it takes forever for the cobblestone to reach the chest. But it does work. After the 6 buttons are pressed, the water in the main room is flowing all the way down, enabling the teleporter. The water doesn't actually do anything. It's just for the aesthetic effect and visual representation of the progress. The teleporter brings you to the boss, Nekwon Prelator. I wanted this final battle to be completely different. To be a completely different style of battle rather than the final battle of the first map. That one was mostly about keeping the boss away from you to avoid taking too much damage. In this one, the boss does not do enough damage such that the player should have to avoid contact with this boss. This fight is actually easily manageable for a while, but things eventually become more complicated. There's a randomized spawner in the room that spawns up to 10 custom mobs of a random type between 5 different options. It can spawn a malicious engineer, the new enemy seen in the final dungeon. It can spawn an alien warrior from the alien village. It can spawn a searing spider from extreme heat. It can also spawn a dark skull, a major enemy from the first map that made an appearance in the final dungeon in this one. It is a wither skeleton that moves quickly and rapidly regenerates itself. Wait, was that in the first map? Huh.
Yeah.
The last enemy it can spawn is an elite witch. a custom witch enemy that can really complicate the fight with splash damage potions. Every minute, monsters from one of these 5 groups will spawn in the room to make the fight harder. Managing these extra enemies is where most of the difficulty of this boss comes from. Allowing too many enemies to spawn means that the fight can get out of hand easily. But spending all of the time fighting the extras means you will run out of endurance before wearing down all 300 hearts of the boss's health. Okay, well, let's go. Okay.
What are these chests?
Yes. Where's
When did
Uniburst
you
going?
do that?
Earlier.
Oh,
I'm
we're going back.
Yeah, I'm going to the bonus areas.
The Trader's Monument.
We gotta take out the spawner first.
Okay.
Ooh.
Francis Fortress. This
What?
area was built. Francis Fortress. This. Wait, how far are you?
Where are you?
I was.
Oh my god, he's glowing in the distance.
Crunch, crunch. Oh,
Can
goodbye.
I open that real quick?
Oh, come on.
He was locked on you.
Aww.
Francis Fortress. This area was built for Flanthis. It is the first of the secret castle/fortress areas of the Trader's Monument bonus objective. This area is accessed from Junglethorn Groves. This consists of 5 tall pillars with a series of rings around them. The area is guarded by strong warriors that are more dangerous than any other enemies from Intersection 1. It also contains an enemy from Fallen Civilizations 1, the Men Pyrotechnic, which did not appear in that map until Intersection 3 out of 4. The Flanthis boss himself is a dangerous bowman. He has 60 hearts with regeneration 1, and he wields a power 12 bow. I deem this bow to be too powerful for player use, so I gave it an impossible drop rate. This is also the only area in the whole map where Emerald Ore appears.
Ooh.
Castle of Shade. This area was built for 95 Shade, and it is the second hidden castle area for the Trader's Monument. This area is accessed from an abysmal boardwalk. Shade's favorite number is 95, and that's why it appears in his throne room, in his boss fight, and in this very showcase. I thought nether bricks would be a perfect material to make this castle due to their dark coloration. Since shade is the absence of light, I wanted to make this area very dark. In an unlit nether brick room, it's almost impossible to see anything in. This area probably has the lowest visibility of any area in the map while it is unlit. In the first map, Shade was quite enamored by the starting stick, the beating stick. So I made every custom melee range enemy use a modified beating stick. As for custom range enemies, I used a variation of his favorite enemy from the first map, the Flying Skeleton. Spoiler, it wasn't his favorite enemy. This variation is a flying wither skeleton, and they can only appear in this area of the map. The enemies are probably the most interesting part of this whole area. Each enemy has a specific area that it excels in. The zombie pigman with a wither skull is the strongest offensive power in the area with a beating stick, Fortis. The flaming zombie has the most powerful fire attack with beating stick pyro. And the skeleton with the diamond helmet is designed to be a wind enemy, being the fastest enemy in the castle with the strongest knockback attack using the beating stick Ventus. Shade's boss fight is also quite unique from other boss fights. This fight is the only boss encounter where there are 2 boss mobs to worry about. Shade fights along Shadebot V95. Shade is a warrior on foot with a beating stick Tenebrae. Tenebrae. The most powerful of the beating sticks, while his bot is a powerful flying skeleton variation. Shade himself has 50 hearts and wields a sharpness 7, knockback 4, fire aspect 7, looting 3 stick, while Shadebot V95 has 25 hearts with power 5, punch 2, flame 1 bow, making Shadebot V95 the strongest flying skeleton variant. The bat it flies on also has buffed health and thorns.
Oh, that's why it took so long to die.
Uniburst Castle. This area was made for Uniburst, and it is the final area of the Trader's Monument. Why did you, like... bonus objective. This area is also arguably the most dangerous area in the entire map. It contains the strongest melee enemy as well as many destructive enemies and traps. This area is accessed through Asteroid Blast, and the creeper from Asteroid Blast returns in this area. The area is entirely out over void. It has a winding mycelium path leading up to it. There are proximity mines around the path and castle. In the castle, there are floors and walls that disintegrate when you get near them, and many types of creepers. It has the arachnid bomber, which is a charged creeper riding a spider. It has the heavy charged creeper, which is the creeper from Asteroid Blast. It has a modified explosion radius of 17 blocks. This is a strong enough explosion to potentially one-shot player in full protection 4 diamond armor while blocking. It has a much longer fuse timer to compensate for this. The castle also has explosive ghosts from Intersection 2, which are charged creepers riding bats that instantly explode in the range of the player. The final type of creeper that appears here is the rare shining creeper. It is the creeper that withers within about a second of spawning, but another one spawns quickly to take its place. This creeper will charge a player with unimaginable speed and explode instantly when it is in range. This is the fastest enemy in the map. Dealing with it requires incredible reflexes and good situational awareness. This area also uses end crystals for decoration, and it is the only area in the map that has end crystals. The boss of this area is reached by using a TNT player launcher to shoot out of a cannon on top of the castle. Uniburst wields a Sharpness 15 music disc, Ward, which is his favorite disc, and has 150 hearts. The fight takes place on a glass ring with a lot of TNT inside of it, and the center of the ring is filled with silverfish stone bricks. This platform is all over void, and heavy charged creepers spawn in the back corners of the room, along with hell crawlers periodically appearing from the center. This fight requires a high capacity to focus on multiple things at once. Failure to properly deal with all these threats could result in the arena getting destroyed, likely killing the player and making Uniburst's head much more difficult to retrieve. Well, there we go. Those are the end credits. Yay! I have to leave.
I was supposed to kill you, Uniburst.
You won't get the chance. Okay.
Wait. Oh. I thought you teleported.
I did now.
Just burned my burning egg. How blazes don't affect me because I have fire resist. Wait, now what? Oh, I know. I'll give TNT 64. TNT is not a valid number. Wait, what's the value for TNT?
You should give me a copy of this map.
Perhaps. TNT. I gotta blow up first. Stack of TNT.
Where are you blowing it up?
I should probably not blow up here. I know where to
We should
go.
keep the monument. Uh-oh,
Yeah.
where are you gonna blow it up?
At the very start. Hello, zombie. Don't mind me. This should be good enough. Oh, I'm not dead. Let me try that again.
Over. Done.
No, I'm not dead yet. Whee! Oh, not dead. It's so hard to die in this game.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Oh, that's right, I knew that. We
What?
knew the rail method.
Rail method?
We can stack minecarts on top of the rails for a bigger explosion. Okay. Oh, perfect. Really? I can't die.
Wait, are you alive? Are you alive still?
Yeah.
Okay, don't die yet.
Uh.
I'm gonna actually hop back on the server for a minute and I'll help you out. Just come back to base.
Hi.
Okay. I need just some feather falling boots. Yeah, that'll work. Oh my god, Shade, this isn't you. This is
No!
not healthy.
Oh. You're right.
Yeah, feel free to take a stack of ender pearls here.
There we go.
What are you burning now? Yeah, we don't need them anymore. Alright, come with me. Shade.
Hi.
That's not the most efficient walking technique. So we need to go to space. Let's see how quickly you can figure out what I'm planning.
Whee! Oh, I think I know. Pants. Oh, hello, geese. Or bats. Exploding bats. Bye,
Alright.
Eumius.
Go hunting. Find a creeper.
La, 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 la. What's this? Is this a wither? Might be a wither. Yeah. Ah, there you are. Hello, friends. Oh, I died.
Alright,
Hi.
disconnect.
I'm sorry, but there won't be a next time.